Netians, my name is Josh Aka Player, and I am your coach of the West Virginia Miniors. What is going on, everyone? Welcome one and all. Let's jump right in to National Pokeball League Minors Division. Oh, whoops. We'll get into it. Minors Division, week number 1. Your West Virginia Miniors are very excited for the season to begin. We are here and we are taking on the Baltimore Oricorioles, coached by Baby Eric, in our first match, which is very, very funny. As you know, if you watch the tryout tournament, you know he was the one who knocked us out of the top 16 bracket. So definitely looking for revenge here. So make sure you go check out his side as well, as he is a very, very good battler in the format. And just having to face him week 1 was not very fun. I like starting off week 1s with a win and facing someone as good as him with his team as good as his. Ain't too fun. So let us get straight into breakdown. Teams should be appearing on your screen at any moment now. As you can see, his team is full of threats, and you can see that my team is as well. If you did not watch our draft recap, we have the Megalopony, the Hydreigon, the Ferrothorn, the Nidoking, the Z Rotom Heat, the Slowking, the Z Mimikyu, the Swampert, Togekiss, Lycanroc, Midday, Hitmonchan, and the Z Castform, the Goatmon. So his team is every single Pokemon is a threat. Like, what kind of matchup did I get myself into for week number 1? Z Garchomp is always just a terror of a setup mon, of a stealth walker, of a bulk, of a, you know, not really, I would say the best physically defensive mon, but it's definitely a, you know, good physical tank. Mega Gallade is always a threat. SD Sweeper, bulk up, great priority, super high attack, super high speed. Well, not super high, but very good speed, very good Spit F. Has the bulk it can set, has the bulk it needs to set up on special threats. Klefki, 100% coming. Great hazard setter. Spikes are super annoying to deal with. Great status spreader. We all know what Klefki does. Crobats hit the first of many burbs. Oh my god, so many burbs. Very good support mon, as its incredible speed matched with the bulk it can typically run just due to that speed is always super annoying to deal with. Gets U-turn, gets defog, one of his many ways to get rid of hazards, which helps support that Talonflame, which we'll get into later. Starmie, another hazard remover, but also a very big offensive threat versus the team that I have. It can be very annoying, or it can be very easy to deal with. It just depends on what coverage moves he brings, and of course what I decide to bring. So, you know, based on how we prep and how he preps, it can be a huge threat, or it can be the scariest thing. So Seismitoad is there. I'm not as worried about Seismitoad more than as much as other things, because I feel like I have decent switch-ins to it. It's a good rocker. Has the 4 times weakness to grass, which is always annoying. Can be really annoying. Water absorb, etc. Not the biggest threat on his team, but still an annoying one to deal with. Talonflame. Oh my god, Talonflame. Talonflame, ridiculously fast. Z always makes it terrifying. Gale Wings, well, it's got full health. Of course, it can have that priority Braver, which is always very annoying for something like my Megalopony, which does not want to take it. So, it can be very threatening depending on what set he brings. I do have my kind of sets in mind of what he might bring. He has Gourgeist, which is a great physical switch-in to stuff like my Megalopony, to stuff like my Lycanroc Day, to my Swampert. Not really to my Nidoking, to my Hitmonchan it can come, definitely. I'm not too sure about how much it might come, just because it brings in my Hydreigon very easily. The Bisharp can be a huge threat. I do have ways to check it, however, it can still be a huge threat. I definitely think the Scarf set could be kind of interesting, as well as an XT Sucker Punch, obviously. I definitely think there's dual stabs. I have some mons I can check it, but it's still a huge threat. Lycanroc Midnight, this is a mon that I'm not too worried about, because I have stuff like Ferrothorn, Nidoking, you know, Swampert, my own Lycanroc. I have stuff that I prioritize. I have double fightings, you know. I have ways to handle Lycanroc. I feel like if there's any mon that I'm least frightened of, it's Lycanroc Midnight. He has an Oricorio. He has access to all 4 forms, which is really annoying, because that helps again with his burb spam, which is so very good versus me. You know, Revelation Dancer is really good. I had to be very careful, although I'm not too worried about it copying a Swords Dance from maybe like my Mimikyu, because it's a special one. So I'm not too worried about that. I don't really have any Quiver Dancers that it could copy. Anything else, I don't think I have. I don't think I can copy anything other than my Swords Dance, so that's always nice. And then Chansey, you know, Fat Blob Deck, special sponge to the max, is very annoying. So looking at this team, looking at the matchup, I'm going to try and explain this the best I can, but I think I'm still going to, like, mess it up. I 100% knew that this is very obvious, but it's going to come down to what he brings. Really. I knew that he could bring a multitude of teams to deal with whatever he wanted. However, he thought I was going to prep, he could easily build a team to counter it. He has Mons that can stop a lot of my potential offensive win cons. I have something like a Megalopony that can go in ham, but he could have Scarf Crobat, which would be really big and annoying, or he could have, the Gourgeist, which could be a good stop to it. So I have Hydreigon, but he has Klefki and Chansey. I have Nidoking, but he has Chansey again. I have the Ferrothorn, which could be a very big problem, but he can run HP Fire, and he also has the Talonflame. Mimikyu, he has that Talonflame. It can out-prioritize, it can, outspeed me, it can burn me. He has something like maybe a Scarf Bisharp, which can Iron Head me and then even flinch me. Like, the list goes on. Klefki is really good, like I said, for my Hydreigon. My Rotom Heat doesn't really want to run the coverage for something like Seismitoad. Togekiss could be a really good mod, but again, we have that Lycanroc Midnight could be a threat. A Choice Scarf Bisharp could be a threat. Chansey could be annoying. Like, the list goes on. So, like, no matter what, he could easily build a core to take on anything I have. So it all comes down to what he brings and how I formulate a plan during the match. So, I'm not sure if this makes sense, but I built a team that had multiple win cons. Basically, I had so many different ways to win and this small team, and it was made to adjust to what he brought. So if he decided to leave a certain mon out, then I changed what not positions, but roles certain mons filled. So like, depending if he didn't bring Chansey, all of a sudden Hydreigon becomes much more of a breaker than a sweeper because he really doesn't like switching into it. Let's say he doesn't bring Gourgeist, then Megalopony can become a breaker instead of like a late game sweeper. Like the list goes on. Like, some things can be breakers, some things can be pivots, some things can be cleaners. It all depends on what he brings. So that's kind of how I formulated the team. So best of luck to me, honestly. So let's get into what I'm actually going to be bringing for this match. I actually have to open it up. Whoop. So obviously, very, very obviously, the very first mon I have to bring, I have to bring this Pokemon. Is my Rocky Helmet Rotom Heat. It's my only flying resist. Let's get that out of the way. It is my only flying resist. And I have to have it. Actually, it's not my only flying resist. I'd say it's my best flying resist, I should say. It's my best flying answer. It helps me handle the Talonflame. It helps me handle the Crobat. And it helps me handle certain variants of the Oricorio. Basically, like half of them. So, is it Pom Pom? And whatever the fire one is. Of course, Sensu can still be a threat. And then the Psychic one can still be a threat. Because, they'll hit me with their staff and it's not going to be resisted. They can still be really annoying, but I do have ways to handle them. Should those decide to come, I do have other potential switch-ins to them. But I have to have this. Like, Talonflame can easily just wreck shot across the entirety of my team. Especially if it's at full health. Because it will be able to handle my Megalopony. So Mons I definitely expect him to bring. I want to go over there. Like, I know that Klefki is coming. I'd love to click Team Preview and see no Klefki. But Klefki is going to be there. Alright? I'm very, very positive that Garchomp's going to be there. Because LOL at my resist. I'm very confident that Mega Gallade is going to be there. Mega Gallade, Garchomp, and Klefki. 3 mons that I know that are coming. The next 3 are really a toss-up. I don't expect Lycanroc Midnight. And I don't expect the... Okay, maybe Seismitoad could come, but I'm not worried about Seismitoad. Let me say that. I can see either Bisharp or Chansey being the 4th mon. Definitely. For the 5th mon, I expect Crobat. 100% Crobat. It outspeeds everything on my team except for my Scarfers, except for Megalopony, and it's really, really good for helping break stuff down. For mon number 6, it just depends on what the rest of his team looks like. He may go for a Rocker if he does not have rocks on Chansey if he brings it, or if he doesn't have rocks on Garchomp. The last mon could be likely Talonflame for me. I definitely think that Talonflame would be the 6th mon in that format. So Garchomp, Mega Gallade, Klefki, Crobat, Talonflame, and then probably Bisharp. Or not Bisharp, actually Starmie or something. Either way, I know that I had to bring running heat because it's my switch into Clucky. It's my switch into Talonflame. It's my switch into the Crobat. It's my best switch into all three of those. And the set you might be looking at, why am I bringing this set? I basically started off typing in Volt Switch and Will-O-Wisp, put max HP, and then just a little bit of speed. I believe that speed is going to allow me to outspeed anything speed creeping me, like the Toad, I would say. Maybe the Klefki as well. So that's what that speed is there for. And I wasn't sure if I wanted any special bulk, any special attack, or anything like that. But I ultimately decided on Defog because I felt like I needed Defog somewhere on the team, and I feel like this was the best place to put it out of everything that I could bring. And Pain Split helps keep me healthy because this is going to be switching a lot, and it's going to be taking damage. So I know that I only have electric coverage versus a team with 2 grounds, but Will-O-Wisp and of course Chansey. But Will-O-Wisp is very good for those 2 grounds. I'm not concerned switching into Garchomp if it's burned. Like, yeah, he can Stone Edge my Togekiss, but my set does not 2KO it after rocks if it's burned. Like, 100% he will not 2KO me, unless he's like Continental Crush. And I also have a Swampert that can easily switch in. And if I predict an Earthquake or a Stone Edge, I can go into my Hydreigon, which you'll see why that matters. So, I 100% knew that I had to bring this. And this is the set I was settled on. It's very, very nice. If I'm in versus a Burb, I can click Will-O-Wisp, unless it's versus Talonflame, in which case I might be a little more cautious. But if I'm versus a Burb, I can easily just click Will-O-Wisp, and he decides to go to Garchomp. Guess what? That thing's burned. So, very, very nice Mon here. The next one that I knew how to bring was going to be my Mega Lopunny. My Mega Lopunny outspeeds every single Mon on his team, except for Scarfers. And it's very, very good versus him, because he really does not like this Mon. Like, his best switch-ins are Gourgeist, which, if he brings that, good for you. I have Toxic, and I have a Hydreigon, and I also have a Togekiss, which can switch in and threaten it, and also, that might be setup fodder for my Mimikyu, which you'll see. Woohoo! I also have a Rotom, which can come in and maybe overheat you if I actually had it. Like, bring Gourgeist. Go for it. I will destroy you if you bring Gourgeist. Like, Gourgeist is almost a liability to you. Almost. Almost. So, Mega Lopunny. I have Return, Drain Punch, and Toxic. I knew I wanted those 3 Mons, those 3 moves. I didn't feel like clicking High Jump Kick versus him, because I felt like, 1, I wouldn't need it. And 2, I did not want him to have Protect on something because of how big of a threat it is. When Mega Lopunny is this big of a threat to you, you bring you bring Protect to try and get 50% off with a High Jump from someone's High Jump Kick. I'm not risking that. I'm bringing Drain Punch. I also know that he has potential Rocky Helmet Mons. I know he has a Rough Skin Mon, so I want to be able to stay healthy versus those things. And the last move, I tossed around forever. I thought about Ice Punch. I thought about Sub. I thought about Baton Pass. I thought about Cosmic Power, Encore. I thought about so many things, but I ultimately settled on Retaliate. Because I feel like with the way his team is structured, and the way that I'm more expecting to bring it, things are gonna die. Like, something on my team is obviously gonna die. There's no way in God's green age, unless I freeze him and hacks him to the hell beyond hell, that I will win this 6-0. Like, things are going to die. And he only has 1 normal resist outside of, okay, he has like 3. LOL. He has like 3 normal resist, but like, Bisharp is not a normal resist when the normal resist is a Mega Lopunny, and neither is Lightning Rod. So he has like 1 good normal resist, which is Klefki. So if I come in after something dies, I could Retaliate, and that is a ridiculously strong move that he does not want to switch into. It's very, very good for being, like, getting the tide. I feel like it's better for getting me back into the tide of battle if I lose some, like, I guess, knocked back instead. So like, I make a bad play and something dies. All right, well, guess what? I can just go to Mega Lopunny. Guess what? What are you switching into Retaliate? Nothing. And it helps me, like, keep the tide from getting too shifted into his favor. So I hope I explained that right. God bless. I want to go back to Rotom, actually. I ultimately decided, obviously, to go more physical, like, just go max physical bulk, because I felt like I could handle Oricorio a little bit better, just because of the team I have. The 2 best ones that he could bring were both pressured heavily by both Hydreigon and the Mimikyu, so I ultimately just went with fully physically defensive. But anyway, I really wanted to run something cheeky and, like, run enough speed for him creeping, like, maybe my Lycan Rock or something, but I knew I couldn't risk that because Eric's really smart. Eric's a really good prepper and a really good battler. I'm way too afraid that he will run enough speed for a max speed Adamant Mega Lopunny on his Crobat, and if I run Adamant to, you know, try and catch his speed creep, that could very much work out poorly for me, so I can't do that. So I went with a max speed, enough speed for a max speed Crobat, just max attack, and the rest of the HP, nothing too crazy. The next Mon that this is also the first of my win cons, so I have 4 win cons basically that can shift rolls into pivots, breakers, whatever I really needed to, and just, like, help support each other again, based on what he brings, this is going to be the first of my win cons. If I don't see, let's say, Klefki, or if I don't see a good Scarfer, or I don't see Crobat, this becomes a major, huge win con, because he hates this Pokemon. He hates this Pokemon. It also helps me check a Swords Dance Mega Gallade, because he Swords Dance up, he kills something, like, I don't have the calc on hand, but I think Retaliate does 95 min, something like that, if he's no HP. So, the next one that I knew that I wanted was going to be Mimikyu. I knew Mimikyu had a very, very easy chance of just setting up and blowing him away. Because his best mons to like, handle this, I either have speed or I can out-prioritize and hit with a stab super effective or just a really strong super effective move. So, God, what a bitch of a fucking set this is to do. I mulled over this set forever. And this is one mon that I expect, because of this mon, I 100% expected Talonflame to show up. Because Talonflame beats this. Talonflame beats Mimikyu almost every single time. Wisp, Roost, Brave Bird, Taunt, SD, something like that. The first 3 moves, and then anything in that 4th slot, you beat Mimikyu. So I have Lumberry. So my plan is to get this in versus maybe like the Mega Gallade, maybe the Garchomps, maybe anything really that I can threaten out, and him go into Talonflame to try and Wisp me. And, you know, it'd be healthy enough to take a +2 Shadow Sneak. Except I have Lumberry and I can Shadow Claw and just throw it out. So that's kind of my idea. I can also take a Thunder Wave from the Klefki. I can take, if he wants to stay in with Chansey, if he wants to Toxic me or Thunder Wave me with a Chansey, I can take that. I can take a Toxic from maybe like the Crobat if he decides to go for that. A Wisp from the Gourgeist. It goes on forever. Lumberry, I definitely thought was the best item because it gave me a better chance of setting up, especially since I have Disguise to automatically give me a free hit. So, if you watch my draft analysis, you know you're going to see these 4 moves a lot. You're going to see these 4 moves all the time. Swords Dance, Play Rough, Shadow Claw, Shadow Snake. Big surprise, I brought these 4 moves. It destroys him. If I don't see, like I said, Talonflame, this thing becomes a lot better. If I don't see Bisharp, this thing becomes a lot better because I expect Bisharp to be Choice Scarf to help him beat this. If he decides to go that route over Talonflame. Klefki is really annoying. I don't really love dealing with Klefki with this because he can just Thunder Wave me twice. Unless he's in range of +2 Shadow Sneak. So anyway, for speed, I could have gone a lot of things. I could have gone a lot of things. I could have gone enough for Oricorio. Alright, so why didn't I go enough for Oricorio? Like I said, the only 2 Oricorios I expect are Psychic and Ghost, and I prioritize them with Shadow Sneak and kill them. So, there's that. I don't care about Seismitoad. I don't think he's running max speed Seismitoad. If he does, got me. And then I just ran enough for Bisharp, basically. So I ran enough for Bisharp, and I threw the rest into HP and a little bit in defense to keep my, odd number. And then I just max attack Adamant. Adamant Mimikyu is so very good during this match. So the next one that I decided to bring, I didn't want to be basic bitch week 1, but I kind of had to be basic bitch week 1. I had to bring Choice Scarf Hydreigon. So I mulled this set over again forever. I thought about Habanberry. I thought about Physical and then I thought about Mix and just having Draco Meteor on there while running Crunch and stuff. But then I found out that a max attack Adamant Crunch from Hydreigon to a Chansey does 22%. So then I said, screw it, I'll just run Dark Pulse. I have enough speed once again for the Bisharp. And then also to make sure that I outspeed Crobat at +1. So that's the thing. Woo! So I outspeed Crobat, I outspeed the Choice Scarf Bisharp, which is always nice. And I Dark Pulse, Draco Meteor, Fire Blast, and U-Turn. I knew that I wanted Dark Pulse, I knew that I wanted U-Turn, and I knew that I wanted Fire Blast. I didn't want Earth Power because Earth Power allowed, Gourgeist to come in on me, and it also allowed an Air Balloon Klefki or a Magnet Rise Klefki to deal with me, which I didn't want. So I ran Fire Blast. It hits the Bisharp, it hits the Gourgeist, it hits the Klefki, and it also he doesn't have immunities to it. So, and then I mulled over the last set. I didn't really think I wanted Draco Meteor in the last slot, but then I realized how weak I ended up being to a SD Garchomp. While I'm not ridiculously weak, if it does get up in SD, it can be a huge threat. So I want a Draco Meteor just as that, just in case. I don't expect to click it a lot. In fact, I barely expect to click it. So I just wanted it there just in case. This is also really good for switching into Starmie. Because, as you'll see, I don't really have the best Starmie switch-ins on this team. I could have brought Seismitoad and just been perfectly fine, or not Seismitoad, but Slowking and run an Assault Vest and been perfectly fine versus that Starmie. But then that allows, Bisharp to be more of a threat. And Ghost Oricorio, and it allows... It just becomes a problem. It also lets Seismitoad in, so I had to run Grass Knot. And I had to wonder, if I'm in on versus, Mega Gallade, do I click Grass Knot? Do I click Scald? Do I click Side Shock? Do I click Ice Beam versus a Garchomp? Or do I try to click Grass Knot to predict the Seismitoad? I ultimately didn't like having Slowking on the team, but it was definitely a 7th Mon. Like, it was sitting over here. It was definitely a 7th Mon. But I ultimately decided I needed these 6 more. So, enough speed. I already explained all this. Very, very nice Mon. So, we're going to move on to Swampert. I knew I needed a rocker, so I put Swampert on here with rocks. To, you know, it's a lot easier for Swampert to get off rocks than just about everything else on my team. So I definitely thought that this was the best idea. And I went fully physically defensive. I calced a lot with Swampert versus stuff like Starmie, versus stuff like the Oricorio, and versus stuff like the Seismitoad. And I ultimately found out that I really didn't need Spadef. Like, I take a Life Orb Hydro Pump. Like, if it's defensive, I take 3 Scalds. Like, no matter what. And Spadef wasn't really going to change that. Maybe I could make it a 4 KO, but, like, at that point, I'm going to be Earthquaking it anyway. I have a Toxic on it. It's going to be worn down. It's going to be in range of my Megalopony. So, next. I'm not really too concerned. So, ultimately, ran Stealth Rock, Toxic, Scald, and Earthquake. Ice Moves weren't really going to do too much to Gourgeist, so I'd rather have Toxic on there to whittle that down, to pressure it. I have Stealth Rocks, of course. Get up Rocks, whittle down its hazards. I ran a Relax Nature, so I didn't, you know, lose out on damage versus any other move that I clicked. And plus, the only Mon that I would try to outspeed, or the next Mon I would try to outspeed would be Fairies and Gourgeist. For sure, I didn't care because I wouldn't stay in versus that anyway. Maybe Klefki, but it's priority anyway, so why would I? So, I didn't run any speed because I'm already outspeeding a no speed Chansey. And like I said, I didn't need any speed S, so I just went fully physically defensive. Which is really weird because, like, these EVs are, like, very BS in my, like, when it comes to my typical standard. So, it's really weird. It's, like, really weird. I haven't run 252 in so long that it's honestly, like, gave me an aneurysm watching it. But Earthquake's my main stab. It hits his team very, very nicely, except for his immunities, which, again, do not want to switch into Scald. Like, the only mons that can really switch into this are Gourgeist, that does not want to get burnt. So, overall, Swampert's a very, very nice pivot mon for this team. And we're going to move on to the last one, which is going to be Togekiss. So, I have another Choice Scarf. I have 2 Choice Scarfers. This is going to be, like I said, a potential win con. So, if I don't see certain mons, like, this can literally just win the game with almost no issue. I have enough speed to outspeed a Crobat speed creeping my Lycanroc. I'm okay with this being outsped by Crobat because I'm going to take a Brave Bird anyway. So if he runs only... Woo! If he only runs enough... Like, if he runs enough speed for, like, an Adamant Megalopony and he can outspeed this, good for him. But this is also good for helping me beat Chansey. So if I see Chansey, this now has the role of tricking Chansey and whittling that down, beating a Nasty Plot, and helping my Hydreigon potentially sweep. Same thing with the Klefki. I can trick that, give it a Choice Scarf, all of a sudden it's a lot less useful, and then my Hydreigon can go in a lot better. Trick, Roost, Air Slash, and Nasty Plot. I didn't need anything other than Air Slash. I could have definitely used... Like, I didn't need anything other than Air Slash, but I could have used something other than Air Slash. I don't expect Lycanroc to come. His other flying resist is Klefki, but I expect to trick that. Same thing with the Chansey. Bisharp. Damage on that is good. Air Slash still does a decent amount. Overall, I really, really like the team. I think it can do good work. I definitely think this is the best team that I could bring versus him. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and jump straight into the battle. And there we go. So, now that we're here in the battle, you can see the 6 months he decided to bring. I am going to be doing post-com showdown for a while. I don't know if I'm ever going to be doing live comm. Like, I like the idea of post-com on NPLs because I feel like that's the standard. I might try and do live comm. I might try and do live comm for week 3, but I know that live comm won't be there for week 2. So, as you can see, he decided to bring the Garchomp, the Mega Gallade, the Crobat, the Starmie, the Oricorio Sensu, and the Klefki. A very different team than what I expected. And seeing this team gave me the biggest hope in the world that I can easily win this game. Alright, my Mimikyu goes in. My Mimikyu destroys him. So when I saw Team Preview, I formulated my game plan. I knew that my Hydreigon was a good pivot into stuff like the Oricorio, the Starmie, the Crobat if I really wanted to. If I'm really cheeky, I might bring it in versus the Garchomp, like Dark Pulse and weaken the Klefki. Hydreigon is good for pivoting. I think my Togekiss is very good for tricking and getting rid of the Klefki. Although I'm going to try and keep that Choice Scarf, because that Choice Scarf can also help me win this game. Klefki has a good, Togekiss has a good chance of winning if I get rid of the Klefki. Pressuring Klefki is my biggest goal for this match. Try and get as much damage off it as possible, just to sweep with either my Mimikyu or my Togekiss. Mimikyu is my 100% best win con in this, Tigger is his second win con. Lopunny is definitely a breaker. He does not switch into Lopunny at all, which kind of made me think that he might be Tank Chomp with Helmet and Endure. But things that I would worry about later. Actually, no, I didn't. I thought that was going to be his Rocker because it was only Rocker. So, overall, I'm okay here. I'm very much okay with how this team matchup looks. Alright, so I know that I want Rocks Up. I want Rocks Up immediately because the more damage I get off on Cliffy, the better. So I'm going to lead it off with my Swampert, and we're going to put this on slow, and we are going to jump into week 1 of the NPL. He is going to lead off with his Oricorio Sensei, and I should mention... I forgot about this. So before we got into the battle, my sister's, I told my sister, hey, I'm going to go fight this guy, and she said, tell him he's gay. So you're going to see a naming theme going on here. So he leads off with Oricorio, which I'm perfectly okay with. He can't knock me out with any attack. And he's going to go for U-turn. I know I can get a Rock Swords to this very easily. And if he wants to go into Starmie, I'm perfectly okay with that. He's going to go for Stealth Rock. I expect a Rapid Spin to come out or a Energy Ball or Scald. So I'm going to make a play in my Hydreigon. Except Baby Eric, like I said, is very good. And he predicts that and goes for Dazzling Gleam. This was not good. This was very not good. Like, I knew that I was kind of okay with Hydreigon going down because it's probably, like, the least valuable Mon. I'm not too concerned about, as concerned as I am about Garchomp because he's going to be, you know, missing a move somewhere on his roster. He can't have Stealth Rock, SD, Dual Stab, and Stone Edge on his move. So I knew that he was missing something. It sucks that I lose my Hydreigon because this was such a good Mon versus him, and this would just apply pressure to Oricorio and Starmie, and would also help me to get damage off on the Clicky. So him clicking Dazzling Gleam here was a very good play on his part, but unfortunately we had to pay the price for it. So I lose my Hydreigon to the Dazzling Gleam, and I knew that I had to apply pressure to this immediately. I did not want him spinning away these rocks because I still wanted them to get chimp damage off. I go out to my Mimikyu, and I believe I click Shadow Claw. Just attack what's in front of me at this point. I cannot let Starmie stay in and be this much of a threat. I click Shadow Claw because he goes into Clefty, which is very nice because I'm going to get that damage off, and I see no item, which scares me, obviously. Aqua Berry comes to mind, definitely. I have Papa Berry comes to mind. Most importantly, Light Clay comes to mind. So I'm going to go straight into my Rotom. If he wants to go for Spikes, Screens, Thunder Wave, Thunder Wave more than Toxic, but if he wants to go for something, I can handle it. If he goes for Toxic, that's worst case scenario, which he does go for. But I'll be fine. Here, I know that I can't touch the Garchomp without Overheat or Hidden Power Ice. And I didn't want a Volt Switch. I definitely did not want a Volt Switch here. If he stayed in, I click Volt Switch, yeah, I get a little bit of damage off. But Wisp is so much better because of the continual residual damage. So I'm going to click Wisp here, and if he goes into Garchomp, I get the Wisp off, and he does go into Garchomp. Thank God that I... That sucks. If I had burned that Garchomp, a very potential big offensive threat to me is now very much neutralized. So seeing this made me cry. Like, I was sad. I was very sad to see this miss. I even messaged my front office as, like, we're gonna lose. Like, turn 2, he Dazzling Gleamed my Hydreigon on the Switch, and turn 5, he dodged Wisp on the Garchomp, which was honestly, like, super... Like, this was super annoying to deal with. Garchomp is a super annoying Mon to deal with. So the fact that I didn't get that Wisp off immediately just makes it so much harder to deal with. I know I can't stay in here, though. I need this to switch into the Crobat and maybe the Oricorio. So I'm not going to stay in here. I'm not going to take the Stone Edge. I'm going to go out into my Swampert. Because Stone Edge is probably his most likely play because it also hits Togekiss. And I can now either Scald something or click Earthquake to do a lot of damage. I'm going to click Earthquake because it does the most damage to Starmie. I'm okay if Crobat comes in because I can just Scald it on the next turn. I'm actually going to Scald the Garchomp because I could potentially get that burn back. And then if he goes into the Starmie at 2 KO with Earthquake. We're doing good, guys. We're doing good. I haven't had much sleep. So I Scald because I might get the burn off. And also, Scald puts him in range of 2 Earthquakes, I believe. If he was an offensive set, which I'm pretty sure he is. So he's going to go for Scald here. I'm going to go for the Earthquake, right? Yes, I'm going to go for the Earthquake. And then on this next turn, I'm going to Scald him again because Scald would kill him. And of course, if he switches out or goes into, if he gets the burn. But if he switches out to anything, I could Scald that too and potentially get a burn. So I'm going to be able to get rid of the Starmie, which is very, very nice because one of his potential hazard removers is dead. One of, probably the one offensive mon that I was most scared of is now dead. And potentially my hazards might just be here to stay more than anything. My hazards might just be here to stay forever. So I have my Swampert in here, 40% is burned. It's done basically what I needed it to, so I'm not too concerned with what he goes into. I'm probably just going to attack what's in front of me. Here, I believe I go for... I don't think I remember what I go for. I think I go for Scald. But I'm not going to let this thing SD for free. I'm going to try and get damage off on it. And then on the next turn, like I said, with him at -1, Retaliate's going to kill. I go out to Lopunny. I'm not going to let myself get put on the back foot. I'm going to bring in my Lopunny. I'm going to Retaliate, and I get a crit. Which is very, very big, because that did 38%. Which would put him at 12. Which would put him in Eye Papa Berry range. Because he has Eye Papa Berry. And that's very, very annoying for him. Getting rid of Klefki is very, very annoying because all of a sudden, my Togekiss looks so good. My Mimikyu looks so good. He has no normal resist anymore. So, me killing Klefki like that is so, so good for me. I'm not sure. I think it's a lot worse than the Wisp Mist on the Garchomp. But overall, it's really shitty. It's really, really shitty. So... but it's good for me, so we're going to roll with it. We're going to take what we get, and down goes Klefki. And he's going to go into Crobat, which I'm okay with, because I can easily just go out into my Rotom Heat on this. I'm not concerned. If he goes for Brave Bird, I get a huge amount of damage. If he goes for Defog, yeah, I don't get rocks for the rest of the match, but you know what? I've already got him switching in on rocks one time with this, and Klefki is dead. So everything else, I'm very confident I can just, chip down. I only need damage off on this, really, so I can sweep with my Mimikyu. Because I can use my Disguise to kill Garchomp. I have Shadow Sneak for Make a Gallade, which at +2, it is not in range yet. It's almost in range yet at +2. Oricorio, if I'm Adamant. If he's no bulk, my Adamant Shadow Sneak has a chance to kill him at +2. I don't need too much damage on everything, and if I don't get sweep with Mimikyu, I can pick everything off the Togekiss. So... I'm going to go for Wisp once again. I want to burn the Garchomp. I want to burn the Crobat. I go for Volt Switch. Oh, okay. Anyone who knows me knows that I don't do post-coms. I do not do well with post-coms. I go for Volt Switch because I know that on the next turn, I'm okay with this thing going down because I know that Crobat is not Choice Banded. I know it's not like a super huge threat. Oh, God. I know that's not a super huge threat, so I'm okay with letting my Rotom take damage. So if I go for Volt Switch here, on the next turn I can go for Wisp on the Garchomp if he decides to go into that, which would be a ballsy play, because I clicked Wisp last time. So, on this turn, I'm going to click Wisp. As he clicks Stone Edge, which I know I live. So he Stone Edges, I live, I go for Wisp, I get the burn off, which is really good, because that's going to start whittling that down and can put it in range of Togekiss. Now then, after I die to Toxic, I'm going to bring out my Mega Lopunny again, because guess what move I can click? Yep. Unfortunately, his Garchomp is not fat. His Garchomp can take it, and he can go ahead and go for the Cyclonic Rage and do a butt ton of damage. But luckily, with that burn, I'm able to take it. I want to talk about the burn from earlier. So if I had burned him earlier, I would have been able to just click Volt Switch on the Crobat without fear of him going into the Garchomp, because he's already burned. I wouldn't have had to click Wisp, or have that 50-50 of Wisp versus Volt Switch, and I could have just Pain Split up, and, Stone Edge wouldn't have done that much damage to me. And I could have potentially weakened this, so that when my Rotom did die, Retaliate would have killed, and I wouldn't have had to take that Tectonic Rage, which sucked. But, nonetheless, it ultimately went very well. I'm able to kill it off with Drain Punch to get a little bit of damage back, so I, don't die. Well, I can stay alive a little bit longer with the extra health that I got back. He goes into Mega Gallade. I, again, cannot let this thing set up. I'm going to return and try and put it in range of my Mimikyu's unboosted Shadow Sneak as he kills me with Thunder Punch, which is a good play. I definitely expect a Thunder Punch to come. Here, I'm going to go to my Mimikyu. I don't care if he Thunder Punch and tries to paralyze me. I don't care if he has Wisp and tries to burn me, because I have the Lumberry and I have a Disguise. I'm going to go for it. I definitely know that with Garchomp dead, that if I SD up on this, I can kill it with Shadow Sneak the next turn. If it goes with the Crobat, I know that I take Brave Bird and I can Shadow Claw into Shadow Sneak that to kill it off. And then I know that no bulk Oricorio is killed by +2 Shadow Sneak. So, I'm going to Swords Dance up and I'm going to go for game. I sort of end up on this. He breaks my disguise with Thunder Punch, I Shadow Sneak, and I knock it out. And I know that he's going to go out into... he actually goes out to Oricorio first, which was very surprising to me. That made me think that it's potentially Cassette Berry. So I was like, hold on a second. And I knew that if he used Cassette Berry, I believe the calc showed that 98% was the max that a Revelation Dance did. So if it's Cassette Berry, I would knock him out of the next turn. He put me really, really low, but 2 Shadow Sneaks would definitely kill it. And then if he went Crobat, I would Shadow Sneak it and then Air Slash it with my Togekiss, and I would win. So I go for Shadow Sneak here, and it turns out that he was actually enough bulk to live a +2 Jolly Shadow Sneak from Mimikyu, which it sucked that it was a roll, but it was a roll, like, I think it was a roll a little bit in my favor. And again, if it didn't kill right here, he would have Revelation Dance. He would have done a decent amount of damage to me. And he would have put me in range of Crobat. I would have Shadow Sneaked it, then I would have Air Slashed it to kill it. If he had Hurricaned me, he could confuse me, but I have Lumberry. So, it ultimately didn't matter, this little roll. He goes for Brave Bird. He does that much damage, and I know that Shadow Claw into Shadow Sneak will kill this thing. If Shadow Claw does not kill this right now, it doesn't. So, puts it at 12%, and then my Mimikyu is going to be able to Shadow Sneak and be able to finish off this Crobat. If it didn't kill for whatever reason, like I said, I still have my Choice Scarf Togekiss in the back to finish him off. And that, by God, is amazing. He apparently was Modest Revelation Dance, which had a chance to kill, so it still came down to like a roll. I forgot about that. So it ended up coming down to flinches. So if I didn't get the roll and he did get the roll, you know, either way, someone would have gotten on the bad end of rolls. It would have come down to whether or not I flinched Crobat with Togekiss, because he was actually Choice Scarf Modest or Oricorio. He would have outsped my Togekiss, and he would have been able to get off a Revelation Dance on that, and it would have and I believe it would have put me in range of Brave Bird, so it would have come down Air Slash flinches. It was ultimately kind of an annoying game. It ultimately doesn't really affect Eric because someone from Majors actually dropped. I don't know if I can say this, but I'm saying this anyway. Someone from Majors ended up dropping, so Baby Eric got pulled up to Majors, so this loss doesn't really affect him, so he's not really too concerned about it. But overall, we win 2-0 in first week of NPL. I'm super excited about this. I'm going to end this video off very shortly. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really do. Make sure you subscribe so you can check out the rest of my NPL videos, as well as my APA videos, which will be going up starting tomorrow. So be sure you go check that out. Make sure you go check out Baby Eric, as well as the other NPL coaches, which you'll see in the description below. I love you all. I appreciate you so much, and I cannot wait to see you next week as we take on a good friend of mine. His name is Diet Tight, and he coaches the New Britain Rockruff. We're 1-0, starting off NPL strong. Hopefully we can finish strong too. Love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.